Welcome to the IMSAI channel, where I try to resurrect an old IMSAI 8080 computer. Alright, well, I'm quite depressed with the IMSAI. I can't get the stupid sound card to work. Maybe someday I'll find another 263 chip on eBay and get one, but I need a distraction. So here's another project that just came in the mail. A while ago I wanted to build one of these, and I couldn't find any PC boards available online. Seems like some people sell them. Some guy, you know, this is a project that he did. I don't remember the name, and there was no PC boards available. And it's a Kim 1 clone called the Kim Uno, and it's just a simulator with an Arduino. But I thought the form factor was cool, and even if I didn't end up wanting the Kim 1 later, I could use the keypad and display for some other projects. So anyway, I thought it was kind of a cool thing, so I just wanted to try one out. But like I said, I couldn't find any PC boards. But it's an open source project, and so there were Gerber files available online. So I downloaded the Gerber files and got a quote to have these built for 49 cents a board. So 10 boards for $4.95. Shipping was like $15, so it ended up being less than 20 bucks. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 10 boards. Sometimes they give you an extra one, but yeah, 10 boards. So anyway, so I got the boards in yesterday, so good timing. Something else to do. The way these work is there's a little keypad and a display, and then the Arduino sits on the back. So these are the display devices. 7-segment, common something or other. These are a dime a dozen on eBay. Or maybe 99 cents a dozen. Anyway, so there's like the little display, and then just uses little switches on the front. Maybe there's a picture of it in here. This is the assembly instructions. Yeah, let me go to the back. Maybe there's one completed. Yeah. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. So okay, so let's build one. What the hey? So these are have to be built in the correct order. If you soldered on the LEDs right now, you couldn't build it because the Arduino needs to be soldered on pads that are underneath the LEDs. So there's a certain sequence that you need to do. There's also, it needs to have a particular Pro Mini. There are like 3 different versions of the Pro Mini, and they're all a little different. Let's see if I have any. Yeah, here are some Pro Minis. I think this is the right one. I used to be a real fan of Pro Minis until they used to be really cheap, and I liked the Nanos, but they were more expensive and I don't really need the USB. I usually use them as embedded things. So, but the Nanos have gotten so cheap, you might as well buy those instead. I don't think there's any price difference now between the Pros and the Nanos, so just do Pros. Lately, though, I've been doing everything in circuit, just buying Atmega chips bare and programming them in circuit. And then one of my favorite chips is the ATtiny 84, which is a little 14-pin package. Now these are great. They have a lot of I/O pins. You know, these are the ATtiny 85s. They're not very useful because they don't have many pins on them. But this is like a hopped up 85. It's got all kinds of nice stuff on it, and yeah, you just put 5 volts on them, and away you go. You can do all kinds of crazy things. You know, you don't need a crystal or anything. You don't need a crystal with these either. You can just burn the fuses not to use a crystal. So yeah, cool chip. If you haven't checked out the ATtiny 84, really good. All right, that's so. The differences between these is where there's not enough pins, and so there's some extra lines, I think A4 and A5, which are the USB, I mean the I2C lines, which are very valuable. They might appear along an edge, or they might be someplace else. This one has 2 pins here and 2 pins here, and I believe that's how the board is laid out. Let's see on the back here. Yeah, it has 2 pins here, 2 pins here. So this should overlay just fine. Yeah. So that is the correct one to go on the bottom. So that'll be like the last thing we put on the board. So there's a great PDF of assembling this thing, what to do. It says you should check your Mini, make sure it works, and the next thing is to solder on the buttons. So I need to find my buttons. I have a bunch of push button switches somewhere just behind me. There we go. And these are amazingly cheap. Gosh, I think, you know, for a couple bucks you can buy like 500 of these little things. They're like really cheap. So that's the type of switch we need. And yep, they will go on. So we need a bunch of those. We need 4 times 6. Wow, we need a lot of them. I guess that's why they're so cheap. You need a lot of them. Some of these have short little switches, and some of them have long little switches, so I want the short switches. Or do I want the long switches? If I put this on, I'm not going to put it in a case. Let's use the short ones. Let's see here. Short. Okay, so I'll start with those. Put a couple of these on, and let you get the idea. It's really hot here today. It's supposed to be 95 outside. The garage warms up. I have a luxury though. I purchased a portable air conditioner that I have in the garage, so it doesn't keep the garage cold, but it keeps it bearable. Got that last year when we had a real heat wave. One of these holes just doesn't want the switch to go in. And maybe it's that switch. Get rid of that switch. Yeah, it must have been the switch. Okay, well, you get the idea. So I'll put all the switches in and we'll come back. Alright, make sure you put the switches on the right side. I had started to put them on this side, but this is the correct side with the little circles here. And then it has silk screen here to say what the switches do. So 0, 1, 2, 3 up to F. And then A, D, D, A, PC. So like program counter, so you can hit like in a hex address, you can hit, you know, store on the program counter. There's a go button, a reset button, things like that. So be able to, almost like our little front panel switch settings, the little programs that were ran on the front panel of the IMSAI. Kind of what the Kim was. You can key in programs with the hexadecimal. There was actually a program. This has 1K of memory, and there was an actual program that somebody wrote to play chess, micro chess, on the Kim one. I was quite impressed with that. All right, so all the switches are on. Now we'll go crunchy. Okay, let's see. Next thing Next thing is 11 resistors. 8 resistors should be 1K. How about the other 3 resistors? Anywhere between 2K and 4.7K. So let's do 1K and 4.7K. Does it say which is which? No. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay. Which is which? Let's see. First 6 1Ks, so there, and there. And 2 in between. Okay. So there, and there. And then the 3 other resistors are these 2 and that one. Okay, let me find some 1K resistors. Alright, here are some 1Ks. And all we need to do is bend them, shove them in. And do they lay out the board? They're a little bit tight. A little bit tight. If you have a modern resistor, the ones from China, they're generally a little bit smaller and have real flimsy little leads on them. So they might go into this board easier. This is kind of the old style, but they seem to work fine. So let me shove those in and go from there. Okay, I found some 4.3K resistors, which should be just fine. And I will install those. Bend them over. And one up here. All right. There we go. All our resistors are in place. And what's the next page? Next page says put the headers on for the Arduino Mini. Where's our Arduino Mini? I've lost him. It's too small. Where'd he go? Oh no! There he is. Okay, so we need to get some single inline headers and 2 long strips and then 2 little short doubles. And it'll go on like this. And yeah, let me find some single inline strips. So these come 40 in length. And we will need a certain length here. I always put my fingernail in this little notch. You can just snap it off. Figure out which one you want to snap it to. I got 2 of those, and then we need 2 doubles. 2 wide and 2 wide. Right. So it goes on this side, and these will go in like that. These will go in like that. And these in here. And this will go on top. Do I want to just leave them poking out? They're long on one side, so either I'm going to have to snip them all off, or I can leave them long which would allow me to stick on my logic analyzer if I ever wanted to. Well, let's see what that looks like. Let's put them on the other side. I put them on this way. Oops. Get them all lined up to go through, which isn't trivial. There it goes. Yeah, then those will be poking up, and I can put oscilloscope on there or my logic analyzer on there. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay. So the thing to do is to hold this, apply some pressure while we solder these in place, and once those are on, we can make sure they're flush, and then the displays will go over it, and then they need to be soldered on before you solder on the on this board. So this board needs, once we get the sockets or pins soldered down, we need to take this off. Don't solder this side, only solder that side, and then we'll put the LEDs on. Okay, so now you can see we have the pins in, and they're soldered on this side, but we'll save this for a little bit later. So now these have to go on, and let's see if I need to snip those off or there will be enough room. There. Oh, there's enough room. Okay, so these get soldered on now, and once they get soldered on, we can put on the Arduino and we should be ready to go. Alright, so the next step will be to put this down, but we'll need to be able to program it so it has a little header on it. And to solder this header on, I need to be on the back side, so definitely want to think about this before you do anything. I will solder this together, and then we can put this down and solder that on. The book also recommends, or the paper here also recommends that you might want to test this. Might be really hard to get that off there. So we'll solder this on, see if we can't talk to this with the Arduino program and make sure it's good, and then plunk it down. Okay, I did solder on the right angle connector here, and you can use any RS-232 to TTL converter you like. This is the one that I like. It's really cute. It's got the connector right on the back, and it's got a mini USB. This one's by, or somebody used to. That's the name that somebody had at one time, and it just pops on like that. Now you have a USB. So now it's a nano, and then when you're done programming, that goes away and that runs all by itself. So I did load in the Flash program, and it worked. So this is going to go on our board. So this needs to go on, and I think these need to be bent a little bit. Okay. There we go. Alright. So no going back now. Make sure everything's going to be okay before we solder it down. Alright, I'm committed. We'll solder this down, and then we'll try to flash the Kim Uno software into it and see if we can't make it run. Alright, so I got the board, I got the little adapter, or got the USB cable in here, it's running the flash program. I downloaded this firmware from the Arduino, the Kim Uno webpage. I have it loaded in here, so let's compile it and download it. It's compiling now. Uh-oh, an error occurred. What's the error? What is the error? Baud rate. Huh. It doesn't like the baud rate. That's weird, because I just put the flash program in here. It didn't complain about the baud rate. Huh. All right. Let's see. My blink is on COM4. Oh, I probably didn't have the right COM port. Okay. I'll try again. Alright. Tools. Oh yeah. I have to set the board to Pro Mini. I have to set the port. COM4. Alright, I thought it would, since I already did the blink program, it would have just defaulted to that, but I had to set it each time, I guess. Okay, it's uploading. Oh, there we go. The LEDs are flashing for uploading. It's now reading, verifying. And done. Oh, there we go. Wow, look. Cool. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh, shoot. It's going to go flash, flash, flash for you guys. Well, let's just try a little bit here, first of all. Oh, there we go. Very cool. Let me do some camera adjustment. Oh, there it goes. It's not as flash. It's not flashing as much. Oh no, that's going to be a pain for you guys. Let me see if I can set the camera to a slow shutter speed. Well, I turned the lights off in the room, and that should have created a long shutter speed. So, yeah. So we can play with little switches and don't know what it does. It looks cool though. Okay, so now the next step is to get out the user manual and see what a Kim 1 does. But anyway, the construction was successful, and I like it. It's kind of cute. All right, let's see. I have the manual. It says to start, enter AD200. 80 0 2 0 0 A5, which is correct. And it says hit the plus sign. This one. Oh, we can scroll through memory. That's like examine next on the IMSAI. Pretty cool. Anyway, I think you get the idea. It's not going to be the most friendly thing in the world. You're going to need to be able to actually write assembler code in 6502 and enter the data and stuff, but yeah, it's fun. So if you kind of want to get the feel for low-level assembly, this is a nice little cheap board to build. It's a lot like the reference designs back in the 1980s. Intel had some nice single board reference designs for the 8080, the 8085, 48, things like that. Some other people had trainers, like Heathkit had a trainer for, I think, the 6809, I believe it was, which is a great thing. There's some other trainers available, but the Kim 1 was pretty cool. And I think you can add, like, there's a connector here. You can probably add a cassette tape interface and store programs and things. Not exactly sure what all this little what this little thing can do, but I'll have some fun poking around on it. Hope you enjoyed that. So I found this on Hackaday, a little Kim 1 clock, and there's a program that you can type in to turn your Kim 1 into a clock, and there it is if it'll focus. Yeah, works. So you can actually do some things that make sense. Not just flip bits around, but actually write programs. So that was fun.